Hi, today we're going to do a vegetable lasagna, and I have my pal Jackie here, who, if you watch the show, you will know is a pasta expert. And today she is going to show us how to do this from scratch.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, hello. We're going to be doing a vegetable pasta with peas, zucchini, carrots, and mushrooms. We're going to start out with, we're going to turn the stove on, and we're going to put in first our parsley stems, which will give a nice flavor to the sauce, to which we will add some garlic, chopped garlic.
That's a trick I learned from Jackie. Don't throw away your parsley stems. They'll come in really handy.
Yeah. And then we're going to add scallion. And last, we're going to add a little bit of white onion. There we are. Give it a nice little flavor. And we're just going to saute that for about a minute. And then we can start adding our vegetables. I'm going to start with the carrots because they're a little, harder than the other vegetables. So we're going to start with those first.
Right.
So I've added the carrots.
Great.
I'm going to saute that for a little bit. And we're going to add a lot more green. But prior to doing that, I'm going to start adding our mushrooms. And this is all going to cook down.
Oh, for sure.
So it's going to take a little bit of time, but
Yep.
It's lovely. We're just going to add a little bit of salt. Charmaine uses a little bit more salt than I do. So I might add a little bit more later. We'll have her taste the vegetables because...
She uses a little more black pepper than I do.
Yes. And actually, if you wanted, we could add a little bit of hot pepper to this as well. And let's add now our chopped zucchini. I used one zucchini here. It makes quite a bit of zucchini. You really could add in, if you wanted to, a little bit of meat. You could add, veal. You could add maybe, chicken. Okay, so the colors are changing. So now we're going to add a little bit of peas. And, right now we don't have those wonderful spring peas, but it's really good frozen peas.
Let's cover this now and move on to the bechamel. Our vegetables are sauteed, and now we're on to the next part of this fabulous meal, and that's making the bechamel sauce.
Yes, the bechamel sauce or the white sauce. So we'll need about 4 tablespoons of butter, which we'll let melt slowly. So I'm going to let the butter melt.
Okay.
And we have approximately, 4 tablespoons of flour, which we're going to add to the melted butter. We're going to cook this for a few minutes. You need to get your flour cooked. It has to be cooked.
Right.
We do not want our flour to be raw. Just a few more minutes. And then I'm going to switch to a whisk. I love doing it with a whisk because I find that eliminates the lumps.
Yeah. So now I get to help pour in the milk, right?
Right. Go right ahead. I'm going to turn it slightly for you. This is a great help. And this is really hard. You try and do this stirring and pouring milk at the same time. It's not that easy, but it's great.
Listen,
It's
happy
great for
to be helpful.
So we're just going to stir this until it gets thick. It's going to take a few minutes.
Sure.
Okay, so our sauce is it's a pretty nice thickness.
Right.
You want it
Looks
a little
good.
bit runny. You don't want it to be too thick. I'm going to add some salt.
Yay.
Yay for the salt. Whoops. And I'm going to add a little bit of nutmeg, which we Jamaicans like to have in our food, but Italians do, when they make bechamel, they always add nutmeg. But remember we said that we could either use truffle salt and truffle oil to add a nice flavor to it with the mushrooms, or in this case, I have a little bit of about a tablespoon of pesto, so I'm going to add that in. And what we are going to do is we're going to add our bechamel to the sauce. And that's the first step. So we want to mix our vegetables in. And you see there's some of the juice that came out of the vegetables as we let it steam at the end almost. Okay, so we're all set. So what we're going to do is we're going to ladle in our vegetables. Spread it around. You want to make sure you have enough for each layer. I'm hoping to get 3 layers in. And as you can see, the sauce is really nice and rich. And just know, this is one of those things that, It's just a really nice dish to make, and sometimes when my daughter comes home from college and she brings all of her friends, it's the perfect dish to make, and I usually make 2 lasagnas. Okay, so now I'm going to add mozzarella here, and you're not going to use the soft mozzarella. You do just like in the pizzerias. They don't use the soft mozzarella. It doesn't melt as nicely, and you want it to be crispy on top. Or sometimes, if you really want to kick this up a bit, you could get smoked mozzarella. That makes it, it's a lovely flavor because it's almost like you do have the pancetta, but without the meat. For years I wanted to make a lasagna because what is it better to do than, you know, a working mother with young children? You want to be able to make something that that's hearty and you can just stick in the oven. And I think we'll put our last layer on.
Yeah, it's getting full.
So our sauce seems to have been just enough. That's always a scary part if you don't have enough
exactly.
sauce.
I guess you just stop at 2 layers.
And we're good to go. So now we just need a piece of foil.
Okay.
And we can put this in the oven. So we're covering our lasagna. It's going to go into the oven for 45 minutes at 375, and then it's going to steam a little bit, and that helps the pasta to cook as well. And then we're going to uncover it, 350 for 30 minutes. Then we get that cheese melted, and hopefully it will be, you know, a little bit crunchy in parts. So one other thing that I do as a safety, just because I hate cleaning up messes, is I like to put my lasagna on a tray, and I put aluminum foil on that as well, because that just eliminates any extra cleaning that I have to do, just in case it boils over. And now I'm going to put it in the oven. Okay, well, we've taken it out of the oven. I think it looks pretty good.
It looks
What do you
great.
think? I love the golden crust, and be careful, it's really hot.
I know.
Hot, hot, hot. So see what you think.
I'm going to try and temper my... I've never made lasagna before. I'm making this lasagna now. This is going to be part of my repertoire. Thank you so much, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Charmaine Lord,
Jacquie Mond.
great cooking with you, and it's time we dish up.